Hello everybody, welcome to the Red Hot Racing League. I'm here with K Harvick fan. This is our first event of the weekend, and as always, it's the Truck Series. We're glad to have you guys here. Kevin, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yeah, I'm finally back. Took a weekend off. Headed out to Richmond last weekend. A lot of fun. First major sporting event or anything like that I've been to since probably the fall of 2019. So it was fun to be back out there. Got to see some awesome racing. I know people have mixed opinions on Richmond, but I enjoyed it. Of course, the Cup Series will be there later this weekend, but let's talk about Iowa now. I just wanted to get that out of the way. If anybody was curious where I was, I know I got brought up a couple times last weekend, but either way, tonight we're at Iowa. First short track race of the season. The truck guys, they get to take it on first. It'll be interesting. We've run two different types of racetracks so far. We've run, and they've all they've been different from each other. Of course, you got Daytona, the big super speedway, full throttle all the way around. Then you go to Chicago, which it's a mile and a half. Took a little bit of a curve down the backstretch. Sets up for three, a little bit odd. It at least, well, it shouldn't be. In this game, it has some similarities to Daytona in some sorts, but it's really not. So very different there. And now come to a track where you got to use some throttle control, let off the gas, get down, save your stuff. So it's going to be fun. I like how the schedule's opened up with some variety, and that'll continue over to next week. We'll talk about that later into the weekend. But so for tonight, you look too. We've had two different winners so far. And trucks, we of course toasted one at Daytona. He was a part-timer, and then you had Asylums pick up his first win last weekend at Chicago. So tonight, I think we definitely come in here, and I definitely think we see that trend continue. Looking at some of the guys we have in the field, whether it be part-time or full-timers, I look at guys like Asylums. I think definitely could be strong here again. This is one of his strongest tracks throughout custom setup racing. So look for him to be strong. T-Glass, I think, maybe could have something. He's down here from the Cup side of things, running a race. I believe Drew is down here racing tonight as well. I'm not 100% sure. I think he did jump in there last minute. And so Drew's racing, again, another guy out of the Cup division coming down to race tonight. And we have a later addition to the field, only been within the last 6 or 7 hours. But he's going to be fun to watch. One of the best guys in the game. We've added another pro leaguer to the field tonight. Mr. Track Bar going to be starting at the back. This is one of his best tracks. These short tracks really play into his wheelhouse. It's going to be fun to watch him go from the tail of the field all the way up to more than likely what will be the front for him and possibly pulling away. We'll have to see if anybody has anything for him. He's got some work ahead of him. But definitely he's going to be a threat here as well. So we'll see what happens. Fuel mileage real quick as we break this down. About 20 laps on fuel. Tires they wear here. You should be able to make the runs on them. But it will be a little bit of a push on them, if you will. And handling could come into play later on. About 20 laps on fuel. Stage 1 is going to be 29 laps. We will run 2 pace laps. Compared to the traditional one, it takes a little bit longer here as the track's short. Line everybody up, so we'll run 2 pace laps. So 27 laps of the stage ideally will be under the green flag. Stage 2, I think, ends up being about 28 laps, maybe 27, somewhere in that area. And stage 3 ends up being 11. So throughout the racing, we're about to line them all up here, get them going. What are you expecting tonight?
Well, Kevin, I'll tell you what I'm expecting is we know when it comes to custom setups at Iowa, tire saving is huge, as well as fuel saving, probably going to play a factor, as we see a lot of times here at Iowa. But mainly, I think your keys to victory tonight are going to be to, one, stay out of trouble. You don't want to get caught up in those wrecks, and especially on the seam. 2, don't cut your tires down too early. You want to save your tires and get them to go as far as they can. And then 3, I would say manage your strategy and be safe entering and exiting on pit road, because pit road can be treacherous here at times. It could cause mayhem. It typically doesn't, but this pit road sometimes is really tricky. So look for those to be your 3 keys to win. And even I'll add on another one, your 4th key to win, limit your mistakes as a whole. I think typically the drivers that win are the ones who limit their mistakes the most. So if you don't make a ton of mistakes here tonight, you're probably going to end up with a pretty good finish and the one you're looking for.
No, definitely. I mean, you look at this place, first of all, you make a mistake here, at least in the Truck Series, this is typically a really bottom feeder, bottom heavy racetrack. You don't see a whole lot of the trucks going into the middle on the highline. You maybe see them sometimes in the middle, but it's not very often. Definitely a bottom feeders racetrack, and if you get knocked out of line and you fall back here, it is hard to make your way back up, especially if you're in the midst of a green flag run, those types of things. And as far as the strategy goes too, let's point out, again, 29 laps in the stage we're in right now. We're running 2 pace laps, as you see them doing at the moment. We will go green, 27 laps to go when we do go green to officially kick this thing off. Again, about 20 on fuel. They're going to have to save some fuel here in this first stage. Fuel gears, we talk about them all the time. They're going to be relevant once again here tonight, as they typically are in the Truck Series, no matter what custom setup racing you're doing at Iowa. In trucks, the fuel gears seem to be relevant, so that'll be a factor as well, Gavin. I 100% agree with you. I think the other thing, though, you got to keep too is don't get too over your head. Be patient. You don't want to be bulldozing guys out of the way, that type of thing, because that'll only cause you problems. It's still early in the season. Don't get yourself into trouble now, because it could come back to bite you.
Yes, that it can. And I'm noticing here, it looks like we're about to go green. I think this time maybe, or next time. We're about to go green here, Kevin, as it looks like Mr. Slide Job just gave Casey one heck of a push right there off the start. So that bottom line already is moving pretty fast, and Emright's going to follow right behind in that 74. So, Slide Job gets right up under Casey. He's got a speeder right there. Maybe the 6 is saving. We're going to try to find the 2 here since he's in the lead. We're with the 2 now, Mr. Slide Job. He will lead the first lap of the night. He is currently your points leader, so we've seen a strong running from Mr. Slide Job this season, and I don't think it was unexpected at all. We know what he can do, and he's putting it out on the track this season so far. I mean, we're only in race 3, but to have the points lead like he does, that's a very important thing to have. And Mr. Slide Job right now leading by a great deal. He might be the only one who's missing the agenda. I don't know if they have to save this stage, but it looks like he might be the only one not doing it. So we'll see if that pays off.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because you see a Silence who started out front, immediately fell back, and I can tell you, based on his skill at this racetrack, definitely, I don't think has anything to do with that setup. He's had plenty of experience here. Definitely thinking, caution's out. That's going to shake things up, Gavin.
Yeah, I noticed a few cars back there kind of fell off on the apron. I don't know what happened to them, but obviously a little bit of a collision there. That's going to bring out your first caution of the night here at Iowa. So typically, like I said, that could have been maybe an issue getting on the seam, but limiting your mistakes, kind of want to point back to that. That's one mistake right there that you can't make. This early especially, you're going to have damage. Now you're going to be in the back of the field, so not something you want to have this early, but that might limit out fuel saving. I don't think it might not. I don't know what the fuel window's looking like right now for these trucks, but I think at any point here, since there's a yellow out, you pit and you take your fuel and tires. I think everybody's going to do the same thing here. We're about to go green again.
Thinking that came out with about 24 laps on stage. We're probably going to have 22 or 21 to go, so we're definitely going to be closer here. That was right. Green flag.
We're already 3 wide there.
Wow.
Looks like Yeti's going to take your lead right now, but maybe not for long as he gets taken 3 wide for it. Emright's right below him, and it looks like they're 3 wide for second now. That's the 54. That's T-Glass. That's our in-race reporter or helper. Yeah.
This evening.
It looks like some cars getting in the wall back there, Kevin. Take it over.
You see that happen? Looks like they drove it a little bit. I think maybe some help was given there. I don't think that was all all just one person's mistake. I think there was some contact to go along with it, but not what you want to be doing here in the early stages of the race. Probably about 20 laps to go in the stage, and I definitely don't want to be doing that early. If there's a place you're going to get damaged, it'd be places like this. The aerodynamics they're still important here, but they're not as important as say Chicago, where we were last week. Places like that, you definitely don't want to get damaged. Here, you don't want it either, but you can afford it more. So I wouldn't freak out too much as wow, slower car right there. They're racing 3 wide.
Yeah, new leader right now is Emright. He's been doing one heck of a job this season. Really like to see that 74 up in the front, not only because it's my favorite team, but that truck is just beautiful right there.
Yeah, we still need that selfie of you in front of that poster. We're still looking for that.
And as soon as he gets the lead, it looks like Drew LMAO is going to challenge him for it in his Toyota Tundra right there. And we got a lot of guys. Oh,
Caution again.
Out. Drew's going to take the lead just in time now that he's in front. He's this might take out fuel saving.
Oh, it gave it to Emright,
really?
Which is odd.
Oh, okay. The 48 definitely had Emright cleared there, but the game scored Emright the 74 in the lead. We'll have to filter back to him as NASCAR Heat likes to switch us to whoever started first.
Let's admire the monstrosity that is Drew's truck. That's an amazing paint scheme. By the way, we talked about too, track bar, he was going to be fast here. He stood at tail end Charlie tonight. He's in 5th. He's made his whip to 5th. The man, he's probably going to be in the lead here by the time we get off turn 4, if not turn 2.
We'll see how long this strategy works as we're about to go green again. 7th Monkey, he's currently sitting above the cut line in the playoffs, and he is your leader, but 2 tires, that's kind of risky. Me personally, I wouldn't do it, but he decides to take 2 tires and manages to hold the lead for now, but we'll see how long he is able to hang on, as he's got a lot of competitors willing to steal it from him. As there goes Emright on the high side with some help from the 48 of Drew. T-Glass is following him. That 54 is beautiful, Kevin. I don't know what your opinion is on it, but that's a beautiful paint scheme right there.
No, it is definitely much better than the 48 truck. That thing's, oh boy. Good. I know what Drew was trying to do, and he achieved what he was trying to do, but Lord. No, yes, T-Glass's truck, very, very nice looking truck, and man, I gotta say too, all these trucks out here looking nice in the kind of afternoon glow of the track, and run around here. I've been watching Asylums too, by the way, because it interests me. It seems like, I don't know if maybe he's driving this way. It seems like he has a little bit of a longer run truck. He seems to slip back on the shorter runs, on the restarts, but then he kind of slowly, methodically, just as Asylums does, seems to slowly start working his way back through the traffic. He's just kind of riding, taking his time right now, biding his time, not trying to get himself in trouble, but he's got to be thinking too, with Track Bar up here and these other fast guys, probably wants to get back up to the lead pretty soon.
Oh yeah, for sure, because if you let Track Bar go, he's gonna, like the saying goes, give an inch, take a mile. You give Track Bar an inch, he's gonna take that mile. He's not a guy you want to let off the chain very, very early in this race, or he will be gone in the blink of an eye. It's almost like he has extra horsepower, which we know that's not true, but man, Track Bar, just a class, top of the class driver, and right now Drew's doing a pretty good job, in my opinion, of holding them down, and so is the 6 of Asylums. They're just right there together, doing one heck of a job holding on to Track Bar right now. We're gonna filter back up to the leader. We're here with Track Bar now, as he's pulling away just a tad bit. He's got about a car length and a half on the 48 of Drew. And it looks like his lead's going to start increasing here soon, so these guys better hang on tight and try to keep him close. But he is really painting that yellow line, Kevin. Look at the line that he is running right now. Him and Asylums, they're just painting that yellow line with those inside tires, those left side tires there. They're just really showing everyone else in this field how it's done.
Oh, definitely, and I talked about it too. This is somewhere you're going to want to be on the bottom. You're going to want to like they're doing. They're painting that line, and that's why they're running first and second right now. Doing a perfect job painting that line. And you hear me talk about this almost every time we come to these shorter tracks, something really anything under a mile or, barely just over. But we come to this place and you hear me say it all the time, but it's true. It's that rhythm. These are rhythm racetracks. You get yourself into a rhythm, you kind of run that same thing over and over, and eventually it becomes, a muscle memory or a second nature thing, and you just continue to do that, and that's how you're fast. If you get off that rhythm a little bit though, you slide up the track, you miss a mark, whatever, it can cost you time. But and you see the guys that are hitting that rhythm, right in that rhythm, in the groove right now, they're running the best, and I think you'll continue to see that. But the other thing, Gavin, is if you look just ahead, you will see the tail end of the field approaching. So that's going to factor in.
Yes, that will. I'm going to take us into an aerial view on Mr. Track Bar. We're going to see what line he's running right now to pull away, as he has pulled a substantial amount of the lead now. So we're going to take a lap with Track Bar here as he comes down in the 1 and 2. Like I said before, look at how he just hugs that corner. He's just hugging that corner perfectly right there, and he is right up on the wall. And look at that. He's just going to paint that line in 3 and 4. What a heck of a showcase that he's putting on. Second place is Asylums right now, and third is Drew LMAO as they continue to try to fight and hang on and claw for every spot. And it looks like Asylums might be catching him in the corners, but Track Bar, man, he's just putting on a show right now, Kevin.
No, he's hauling the mail on these straightaways. He's getting the run off, and he's making good work of it too. As I believe we're coming around and what should be the white flag when Track Bar hits the line for stage number 1. So he's gonna come back around here one more time and take what should be a stage win, assuming he doesn't make a mistake. I don't see that happening. So at least up front, looks like gonna be first place Track Bar, second place Track Bar once they finish this thing off, and third and fourth we'll find out.
You said Track Bar's finishing first and second. I don't think that's possible. But Track Bar will win the stage. Asylums will get second. And I think Drew gets third, T-Glass fourth, and I believe that is the 50 of Trippy Tricks. That's a pretty nice team too, I'd say. I like it. It gives me a beach type of vibe, even though we're in the land of cornfields here tonight.
Yeah, literally, they had the start-finish line. It looks like an ear of corn.
Yeah, that's pretty cool about this place. I really do like Iowa. Probably one of my favorite tracks. I mean, me personally, I'm a fan of short tracks, so this one's definitely already up there. But this track's already it's one of my favorites to race at. I can remember all the fun I've had racing here and all the good finishes I've been a part of with other competitors, and some of which are in this race right now. So pretty cool to see, Iowa putting on another good show for us tonight.
Absolutely. We're going to stack them up. 27.
Here comes your front runners. Track Bar and Asylums will be leading them to the green. And it looks like Track Bar gets a little bit under that yellow line there, but nothing to be worried about, I don't think.
Well, I don't know. There is a rule about changing lanes before the line. I don't know if he changed before. Yeah, it does.
I don't think he necessarily changed his lane. He only got his tires just a tad bit below the yellow, and it was only 2 of them. I don't know how they'll score that, but he just has about a car length of a lead already off the start, so we'll see if he can pull away like he did before.
Was that before the line? That's the other question too, because I had a kind of behind angle. I couldn't see where the nose was.
I think it might have been right as soon as he barely touched the line and finally just went under there a little bit. It might have been just a hair before the line, but we'll see if anything is done about that. I don't think anything should be done about that. I don't think he really gained an advantage off of it, but we'll see what happens. Next is we have a yellow flag out.
Yeah, early caution here.
Yellow flag is out.
This kind of seems like the magic. We get one early in the stage, about 2-3 laps in, and then get a little bit of a green, and then we go back under caution. But one person I actually am curious to see what happened to them, because he looked really sporty up here at the beginning of this race was the two of Mr. Slide Where did he go?
Once we get back to the green, I think we can get a look at what might have happened to him here on this restart. We're gonna filter back, see if we can find him. I think I see him. He might have got caught up in that wreck. I think he's at the tail end of the field, Kevin. So he must have had a wreck, and looks like the 20 didn't go. I don't know if Mr. Slidejob had to sit behind him there, but the 20 didn't even move. So Mr. Slidejob had to go beneath him to pass. So I don't know if that's against the rules, but
shouldn't be. I believe avoiding incident is okay.
Yeah, the 20 just didn't even get started. It was almost like they were sleeping at the wheel, and I don't know how you could do that at a race like this.
And holy, look at it,
right
it's
now.
A melee up front here.
I'm gonna ride on board here with the 87. Heck, dude, he's right in the middle of all the action. I mean, we're getting a good view from his hood view right now on those 87 Ford F-150 as he tries to drive through the field right now. He is right in the mix of almost everything. You can see the 3 wide racing in front of him. It's even close to 4 wide there as he's going to make us pass on that 74 of them, right?
Yo, man, I'm surprised the other 2 lanes really working. These trucks don't always like these other 2 lanes as much as maybe the Xfinity cars do, or the Cup cars. But tell you what, they're working around there. We're making 2, 3 wide, like you said, almost 4 wide work. So obviously not quite, right up at the front of the field, but I mean, inside the top 10 they're doing it. So it's fun.
Oh, the 18 gets spun around on the seam. The 18 caught the seam. That's going to be a big one. That's a big one right there. A lot of cars involved. The yellow flag hasn't come out yet. There it is. But there's a lot of carnage there. It looks like some cars that are involved. Lyle Chat looks like he has some damage. The 18, though, it looked like he just got caught up on the seam there. That's Lord Billis. He's right around that cut line, Kevin. I think he's a little bit below the cut line, maybe about 5-4 points, something like that from what I saw earlier today. But, yeah, he just lost it there on the seam. And that's what I was telling you. That seam is tricky. And, it's kind of like running on an oil spill. You don't want to do it. I mean, you're just not going to have any grip. And it looks like he gets caught out there. Just a rookie mistake from him. And he'll learn from that seam is just a no-go. It's no man's land. You don't want to be there. And hopefully he can clean it up here after that. That was... That kind of got my heart racing there, Kevin. That was just something that you don't want to see. And especially if you're the 18, you don't want to wreck there in that situation. But he manages to just spin out on the seam. Like I said earlier, it's a dangerous place to be. But here we are, track bar in the lead. Trippy Tricks is on your outside pole right now. And it looks like Asylums is in third. So we got a really star-studded top 3 right now.
Indeed, all 3 of these guys extremely talented drivers. And you see, of course, the bottom line, getting the better jump there. Not surprised. Tripp will try to probably fall down in the line here. We'll see if he can make this middle work, though. But it seems like right now Bottom's going. And by the way, I would like to point out about the 18. While he didn't have a ton of extra laps on his tires, he did stay out under that first caution we had. So,
another big wreck back there.
And more trouble. Boy.
We just caught the tail end of that one. That's going to bring out another yellow. I believe that's the 4th one of this stage.
I think
it sounds
third.
like maybe Lyle Chat there could have been the cause of that one, but there's a lot of carnage happening towards the back of that pack. I mean, you can just look at these cars and tell these things are getting roughed up early. You got to save that equipment, Kevin. They're just not saving their equipment.
No, definitely. You got to take it easy. And, of course, we're going to wind down the stage. I don't know how many laps will be left when we go back to green. We should be under at least 15 to go in the stage. So they're going to wind down, and as if it hasn't been intense enough so far, that intensity will probably start to ramp up a little bit more here towards as we get closer to the end of the stage. Let's see what happens, though.
68 of Graham Cracker stays out or takes 2. Same thing with Mr. Slide Job and 7th Monkey. So we got 3 cars on slightly old tires right there. And by the way, I will say the 13 of Bauman has lagged out. He will not finish this race. Unfortunate events for him. But right now, Graham Cracker is leading. This is his second race tonight. This is his second race in the Truck Series, Kevin. And he's been returning to custom setup racing. And he's hit the ground running as we got a big pile up behind him. That's probably a good 15 cars. That's going to continue to wind down the stage.
Saw somebody get tagged. I don't know what happened. I heard contact and I just heard squealing of wheels. Not a fun sound to hear. And yeah, I just look back and I see somebody sliding sideways. And of course, you know the rest. A whole lot of options when you want to restart. Somebody gets sideways like that. But I tell you what. The way this race has been going, these guys that just stayed out right here, I like this move. I like the move for Graham. I like it, especially for Slide Job. I know he has speed. He got kind of stuck in the back, tried to gain that track position. Seventh Monkey, we've seen him do this already once tonight, and it worked for him. And it appears it'll probably work for him again. He should still be in the top 5 on this. All these guys should still be in the top 5 on the restart here. So I like this move.
Yeah, I wonder how many more guys are going to take it, as it looks like the 6 falls back a lot there.
I don't know what happened.
Track bar's on the front row, though, so we'll see. 7 laps left here. Will the 68 be able to hold off who is probably the best in NASCAR heat, right on his high side, already to his bumper? Can he hold him off, Kevin? I mean, track bar is just like a caged animal ready to be released. He's breaking that cage open and he's ready to go crazy, and here he goes. He's on the high side. He's going to take the lead. Super NASCAR fan going to try to follow him on that high side, but track bar is going to come down and close the gap there on the 68. And now the 24, the reign of terror continues as he is in the lead.
Saw somebody in trouble back there. I believe it's the 17 in trouble, wrecked. Nobody else involved. We will stay under the green, but just wanted to point that out. I was scrolling.
Oh, Casey's in the
boy.
grass. I don't think he could do anything about that right there. That just looked like the car wasn't.
Awesome.
That's going to bring out another caution. Might be a green-white checkered now, as I believe we ticked off at least 2 laps there. So unfortunate for the 6. He just must have got either loose, put down on the grass, something happened there, but that's not the way that Casey would like to see his night go, as he just got put down there in the grass. And unfortunately, you know, when you're in that grass, it's really, really hard to control your car. It's almost like running on the seam and how it's so slick down there, especially in that grass. You don't get much grip with these slick tires that you got, and you know, you just hard to hold it down there, especially when you're going around 140 on these front stretch, 140 to 160. So very difficult to hold it down there, and Casey just did all he could, and unfortunately just mayhem ensues.
He's paying the price now too. Look how far back in the lineup he is now. He does not want to be back here. He knows he's got a better truck than this, so I expect him to be very determined.
Now I'd like to see if Casey can bring that 6 car and cut through the traffic just like a 1,000-degree knife cut through butter. But we'll see, as the 24 is going to cut to the high side now. It looks like it might just be a battle for second, Kevin. It looks like Super might be able to hang on to it here. Even with all those hungry competitors behind him, Track Bar is going to sweep the stages so far tonight, as he will win stage 1 and 2. That's going to be good points for Super. Vinny got 3rd, Drew 4th. So the 68 of Graham, he gets 5th. So that top 5 right there, they're going to get a fair amount of points, especially Graham Cracker, who was already a race behind. He couldn't race Daytona. He was here for Chicagoland, and he was also here tonight, and he still is, obviously, as he gets some good points here tonight as well, like he did last week. So Graham Cracker really showing out his talents here after a long break from custom setup racing. I'd like to point that out, that he still has what it takes to be a top competitor here, and he's showing it right now.
How about too? He even jumped up here. He was one of those guys that took that strategy call a couple cautions ago. Took 2 tires, or even just stayed out, got up on the front row, led a little bit, and ultimately he gets him a top 5 in the stage. So, really good strategy call on the 68 there to get him stage points.
And it looks like we're about to go green here for the final stage. Slide Job's in the lead, Track Bar on the high side here. The Track Bar has made that high side work pretty good, so I'd like to see if he can do it here again. Because it looks like he's going to get dead even with Slide Job right off that corner. Slide Job might put up a good fight though, Kevin. He's hanging on that inside, and Track Bar's trying his hardest to get in front here, and it looks like he's just going to clear that 2 truck there. So Track Bar is just killing the competition right now. He's managed to slide back up in front, and it looks like the 50 trying to imitate Track Bar there and run that high side to get that big run off the corner. But Track Bar, man, he's just like a rocket blasting off into space as he continues to lead this race right now, Kevin.
Indeed, and you know, I talk about too. I'm not surprised that Slide Job was able to hang on. If you go back to the start of the race, he started in the third position and immediately was challenging for the lead. He seems to be really strong on the restarts, and then the truck kind of comes back down to earth for him a little bit, and he's still a really solid, probably top 5, top 3 truck, I think. But I don't think he has quite the speed of Track Bar and Bounce. I don't know that anyone does. The one thing though that is different, assuming this stage goes green, and I probably just jinxed us, so I apologize to everyone. But if we go green, these guys will more than likely make a pit stop. They're about 13 laps short on fuel, or sorry, 17 laps short on fuel. I'm a little bit off there. 17 laps short. I don't see anybody trying to save that. You'd be insane if you did. Just come on in and pit. So this guy's probably gonna pit at some point. I'd say probably split it down the middle, and come on down and get 4 tires and some fuel. So expect possibly a pit stop.
Yeah, right now I'm sitting on board with the 68 Rackley Roofing Toyota Tundra right now, and we got a battle for third on our hands. 2 custom trucks, and it appears to be Drew and Trippy as these 2 guys continue to battle. The 68 looking to poke his nose there as he's running that bottom line. It looks like we got a battle heating up right now. Track Bar's kind of checked out, so not much action going on really up towards the front like that. But I've just been filtering through all these cars right now, Kevin. We got a lot of action behind Track Bar, but Track Bar is, like I said, he's gone. It looks like Casey gets loose on the bottom there.
Yeah,
I don't know. The 6, he just got really loose right there, Kevin.
He seems to be, I don't know if something's just up with his truck. He seems like he's struggling with his truck, though, more than he typically does here, so I don't know. Hopefully he can get that sorted out, because I saw he had speed earlier. Maybe it's just because he's back in traffic. Maybe struggling with it a little bit more, trying to get it to maneuver certain ways to get around these other guys. But either way, doing a nice job, just staying calm and again, methodically working his way back up through this field. He's got time. He knows he has speed. Biggest key for him right now is just kind of be patient and just, you know, slowly work your way through here. Don't get yourself in any trouble.
Yeah, I mean, we both know this isn't where he would like to be as he kind of scrapes the wall there a little bit. Might be fighting a tight car that seems to be loose off of exit. Now he's getting passed by the 97, so something's definitely got to be wrong with that 6 truck. And he's getting taken 3 wide right now. Looks like he's going to get passed maybe by the 18 on his inside. Tough for him as we got a battle up here again for 4th now as it's the 68 and the 50 going back to these guys right here. So we got some fierce competition between these 2. And it looks like Graham Cracker, like I said earlier, I'm super proud of this guy, man. He's making a comeback to the custom setup racing, and he's showing what he's made of. He's showing his capabilities, and he's showing that he has the speed and has what it takes. He's really put a lot of work in these last couple of weeks, and it's shown on the racetrack that he's done a really good job. And it looks like, you know, running top 5 for most of this race, he's got a lot of speed. Maybe he could steal a win, say if someone speeds ahead of him. And, you know, that'd be awesome to see Graham win. He's definitely one of those that you would love to see when he's an underdog here tonight. And I think the whole field, except for Track Bar, is. But, you know, it'd be really cool to see a guy like Graham win who's just put in so much effort this season to already be up where he is, and he's just been doing a great job. But we'll take a look back to the lead, see what's going on here.
Probably not much.
I'd like to say that that's probably what we're going to find when we get there. Oh, look at that. Track Bar is on an island. Goodness gracious, lost at sea it looks like. No cars within a country mile of Track Bar right now. Goodness gracious. He's by himself, and
he's just taking a nice stroll through the corn maze while the rest of the field's on fire behind him.
Yeah, I mean, Track Bar is just. I'm wondering if he's got something up his sleeve, like a little trick that he's playing on these guys. But Man, he is just so fast. All you can do is sit back and admire it with the jaw-dropping speed that 24 truck has tonight. I mean, these camera views that we got right now for NASCAR Heat, they show no cars but him in the frame. I mean, Track Bar just laying the hammer down and running the perfect line around here. He is really just doing one heck of a job tonight, showcasing his skills. As we all know, Track Bar definitely one of the best here to do it in NASCAR Heat. So, not really surprised that he's up front, but as long as he limits his mistakes, like I said before, Kevin, he will probably come home with it. If he can just manage to not speed or get caught up in anything like we know Iowa's willing to bring, as we know this track can be pretty unpredictable at times and pit road can be pretty treacherous. So as long as he's able to keep it clean, I think you gotta, if you put some of your money on Track Bar here, you placed a good bet.
Definitely. Well, and let's talk about pit road, because I do think, obviously, I think Track Bar has the best truck based on speed, but the one thing that does worry me a little bit about Track Bar is sometimes, not all the time, sometimes though he does have a tendency to be a little bit too quick on the pits, and it's bit him before. I would be, if I'm any of these other guys racing, I'm not throwing in the towel yet. We still have a pit stop coming. It looks like we will probably get that pit stop. We haven't had a single caution this stage yet. Again, probably just jinxed us. Hopefully I didn't though. No
now
cautions
we're gonna have
yet
two
this
cautions
stage.
because you said it twice.
Probably. Well, we haven't had one yet, so we'll see. But either way, no cautions to this point in stage 3. If we get that pit stop, pit road could be very interesting. And the other question then lies as well. Anybody, this goes for anybody. What kind of strategy do you pull? Obviously, there's a little bit of a window. There's ideally about a 17-lap window for you to pit, whether you want to pit really early, which we were probably already within that window, or...
We do have some takers, Kevin. The 17's bringing it down now, but I did realize the lap before the 2 car, Mr. Slidejob looking for an undercut right now. And the 6 car manages to move up a little bit as well, as I believe the 6 car has made it in the top 10. And once these pit cycles start coming, he might be in the top 5. He was floating around 5th and 10th area, so he's been doing a good job. It looks like we got a lot of takers now, Kevin. A lot of pit stops.
I think these guys saw the others go down and said, you know what, I'll take some tires too. So the whole field is starting to head that way. I mean, Gavin, what do you think the better end of the strategy is to be on? I know my opinion, but would you rather be the first guy coming in like Slide Job was, or do you want to kind of be in the group now, kind of in the middle with everybody, or do you want to stretch this thing all the way out and try to pit later and see what you can do?
I think it really depends on how fast you think you are. I mean, Mr. Slidejob's pretty fast, so I think he can afford to come down pit road and have his tires fall off a little earlier. I mean, he will gain some time probably on Track Bar and a few others. And, but if you're kind of one of those, like, slower guys, maybe stretch it, see how far you can go. If you can put the whole field a lap down and then you get lucky with the caution, plays right into your hands. But, I mean, most people, like for me, I would probably go in with the majority of the pack, just to see what I have and see if I could maybe make a little tiny adjustment that'll play a huge factor into my speed. But back to the action here. It looks like Slidejob's going to pass Casey now. And those two were battling when the pit stop started, but the undercut didn't gain him much time, as I thought it would.
Maybe not. We'll see, though. And I think that might be partially because at these shorter tracks, it still works and it still gains you time, but because... especially when they came in so close together, it's harder to gain time because they're not out there for quite as long on the tires as you would be at somewhere like in Atlanta. And this place also, it still eats tires, but it's definitely nowhere near the most tire abusive track in this game. There's definitely tracks that are far more abusive on the tires, but either way, it did gain him time though. Regardless, it got him out of that battle with the silence. He right now has the upper hand. We'll see what happens there. Has Track Bar picked yet? That's my question.
He probably has right now. He's just, I don't know if he's back out to the lead yet. I guess we'll get that from T-Glass here in a second, as T-Glass says he is in the lead. So right now on board with your leader in that HendrickCars.com Chevrolet very nice truck, I will say. I really do like the 24 truck. It's a pretty nice scheme on it. As looks like he's approaching the lap car of Lyle Chat right now in that Valvoline Chevy. So we'll see. I noticed before that the lap car kind of got in Track Bar's way. We'll see if this one does the same or if he just stays high and gives up, and he does. He'll give it up to him. Respectable move there by Lyle. Track Bar just continues to count these laps down. I don't know how many. What's our lap count looking like, T-Glass? So we're coming down to the wire, Kevin. It's really shaping down now. As it's looking good for Track Bar.
It is. He's got a really comfortable lead. Pit stop cycles at this point have definitely gone through. So as of right now, this looks like this will be the lay of the land for the end of this race. It'll be interesting to see. I don't, again, assuming we don't have a caution or Track Bar doesn't make some massive mistake, I think Track Bar's probably got this pretty well on lock, but for the rest of these positions, I don't know. I mean, I'm still watching Graham back here in the 68, and he's in the midst of some traffic. There's some guys around him, so as this has been most of the race, I could see this being a pretty action-packed spot.
Yeah, especially with T-Glass right behind him. This could be really a huge battle. I don't know what spot it's for. I know it's probably in the top 5. So these three guys really like fighting hard right now as we're hearing Vinny's in 4th. As Vinny gets really loose there.
Boy!
Swipes right across the 68's nose. Can the 68 capitalize now? As it looks like maybe the 54 might take a bite of the pie here as well. The 68's going to clear him for now. And it looks like T-Glass maybe using the high side might be able to get that run off the corner to pass him. And that looks like that's what he's going to try to do here in that 54 Ally Ford.
Trying to use that outside moment.
If he can do it. Yeah, he's going to. He's going to get some good draft from the 68. And it looks like he's going to move the 68 up the track as well. So heavy battle right here. And look who is in right behind him. That's a Silence. He's going to catch these guys, and he's looking to maybe steal 3 spots here, so we'll see if he can do it. The 68 right now trying to attack that 54 for 4th. This looks like the hot battle right now as we start to wind down. I believe we got around 10 laps remaining in this race. Oh, he's on Track Bar's on 8. Must have lapped a lot of people.
This is what happens when Track Bar's leading. There's so many races where I do this. See, we get focusing on another battle, right, and then we just we don't forget about Track Bar. We just we ignore him in a respectful way for a little bit. And he's going so fast around here that he just clicks off way more laps than you think he should be. And that's just, I mean, because the dude is, like, so fast. I mean, it happens all the time when he's out front. I don't know how to explain it.
Speaking of Track Bar, I'm sliding back to him right now, as it looks like that battle we were just watching is only a straightaway ahead of him. So Track Bar looking to chase down those guys as well. I mean, this guy right here, man, they don't call him one of the best in the business for nothing, Kevin. I mean, you don't earn that title. You don't get called that for no reason. I mean, Track Bar really just showing why he is one of the fastest. As I believe 6 laps for Track Bar. 6 laps for Track Bar when he crosses the line. And 5 laps when he crosses the line here. So Track Bar just wanting to see these laps tick down. No late race cautions. Knock on wood twice there so you don't jinx yourself, Track Bar. But he's just looking to take these laps down, and he is doing one heck of a job. He's really, like you said, ran the same rhythm line that he's ran all race long. As it looks like Vinny is now the next victim of the Track Bar lap here, as Track Bar is chasing him down. Look at how big Vinny's car is getting. Or his truck, sorry. Didn't mean to say car.
Well, hey, you know what? As Toasted Gamers would say, he called it this interview, Track Bar's truck car is looking pretty good right now. I gotta say, the thing's been smooth, and now Vinny is about to get lapped by Track Bar in his truck car. So let's see what happens. I'll be interested to see how much of a fight Trippy actually puts up for this. Or if he just kind of lets him go. He is still trying to, get these guys in front of him. He's got some spots and some points right here that he can go grab if he's able to.
Well, Track Bar has lapped Vinny, and he's put almost a whole turn on him already. So I don't think Vinny wanted to put up much of a fight there. I mean, Track Bar now just playing with the field, it looks like, kind of like a tiger plays with its prey. It looks like that's what he's doing as his laps continue to wind down. Might be 2 to go when we get to the line.
And it might be on the white flag.
But,
we have no idea anymore.
But
he is coming. Okay,
oh, he
so
is coming to the white. Goodness gracious.
Close. Yeah,
I've been a lap behind every time.
Yeah, it's
white flag is in the air.
Runs away.
Track bar by himself right now. Nobody within a country mile of him, as we know. This guy right here has been doing what it takes to take home the dub here tonight at Iowa, and it looks like he's going to get it out of turn 3 and 4 right now. Lap car in front of him ain't going to play a factor. Track bar will bring home Iowa Truck Series win and his first ever win in RHRL, so really excited to see what he's got to tell us here in the booth shortly, Kevin.
Indeed, of course, we'll catch up with their top 3 after this race. You know, I will say though, after a fairly interesting start, I had quite a few cautions early on. To go green all the way to stage 3, these guys sorted out whatever issues they were having. They got it all, filed out. Spread out, had a round of green flag pit stops thrown in there, and we had a pretty good battle there for the 4th position for a little while. So overall, great race. Good way to open the weekend. It makes me excited for Xfinity. Same place, same time tomorrow. Both stream-wise and the track will be at Iowa again for the Xfinity guys. So I'm excited for that based on what we've just seen here. And we'll catch up with the top 3 in a moment.
Yeah, we do know who our winner was, but who was 2nd and 3rd, Kevin? That's the question right now. Maybe our in-race reporter can get those guys in here, but man, what a show from Track Bar. What a race, man. That was just awesome racing right there. I'd venture to say that was the cleanest truck race we've seen all season, so very good racing from these guys. Might take a couple second break here, but a lot of good racing from these guys, man. I'm really proud of this truck series. They really put on a show and are setting the tone for this weekend. As they really put on one heck of a race, and it was extremely clean. So really cool to see. Track Bar obviously is going to take home your fastest lap. So congrats to Track Bar. He completely sweeps the race. Other than the pole, he wasn't here for qualifying, but he swept everything he could. So congrats to Track Bar on the win. I believe we're going to get our top 3 in here now as we look to get them in the booth. But yeah, one heck of a race from these guys, and we get to hear from our top 3 here shortly.
Working on getting them in the party now, so we'll work
also,
on that.
Quick shout out to Uncle Fry giving 100 bits. Thank you, Fry. Love you. And Rock NASCAR says, congrats, Track Bar. And yeah, Track Bar put on one heck of a show tonight. I mean, just totally destroyed the field in classy fashion there. So he did one heck of a job. Also, shout out to Rock NASCAR for all the things he does for the community, and the RHRL League really thanks Rock NASCAR for his help and what he does for us as well, and especially us up in the booth. We thank Rock NASCAR for tuning in, and every one of our other 11 viewers, 12 viewers that are tuning in right now. Thank you guys for watching. It's been a pleasure to broadcast you some of the best custom setup racing on NASCAR Heat, so we're glad that you could watch it with us.
Indeed, I can't express enough, how much the support means, and it does. It means a ton, and I am trying to find him. Oh, we do have. I'm dumb. We have our top 3 in here. Okay, never mind. I didn't realize all of you were in here. That's my fault. All right, so Gavin, I don't even remember what order we did. What order did we do last time? I don't remember.
Well, last week I think Tim interviewed himself, so that
was funny.
You weren't here last week. You were enjoying some racing in real life, but I believe before I think you took the 3rd and 1st. I guess I will here tonight, as I believe I'll be taking one of the most colorful personalities in NASCAR Heat, and that's Super NASCAR fan first. So, Super, you got a copy, good buddy.
Yep, I'm here.
Super, you ran top 3 basically the whole race, so I wasn't really surprised that we would see you in the booth here tonight after seeing the amazing performance you put on. And we know you're on a tight schedule most of the time, so we're glad to have you in the RHRL. But explain to me and Kevin how your race went. What was the plan going into this race, and how did you manage to execute and come home with third place tonight?
Well, after I got home from work and stuff, I had about 40 minutes to figure out what I would do for the race. I tried to possibly think about a fuel gear, and turns out we didn't need it, and I chose not to use it. So basically, that first stage it was me and Slide not saving, and everybody else went saving hard, and then of course you get the caution like lap 3, and then everybody else is full blast all the way to the end. So that helped us get a little track position, but then fell back in stage 1 just because we couldn't get to the bottom. But then we were able to work our way back up, and stage 3 was nice and smooth. It was awesome battling with Drew at the end. Our trucks were pretty even for that final stage, and it was awesome racing against him. And congrats, Track Bar. I know nobody can catch you. You're definitely the goal, because that would be cool to challenge you if we get to the Pro League. That's just one of the steps to possibly get there. It's just another great race, and thank you very much for Word and everybody creating this league. I'm glad to race here.
Well, super. I think I speak for everyone when we say we're glad to have you, one of our good friends in racing from over the time that we've known each other. I'm glad to see that your hard work has paid off here early in the season, and I hope to see you in the booth more. I really love hearing what you got to say and your takes on the race. So, again, congrats, Super, on third. Kevin, you got anything for our good old buddy Super NASCAR fan tonight?
I do, and I guess this will be a little bit of hint dropping for next weekend. But obviously you had a good run here this weekend, and you were still trying to kind of sort out where you're going to be. Obviously, like you mentioned, your work schedule is kind of all over the place at the moment. So, of course, you've been doing kind of double and triple duty sometimes. So until we can officially get your work until you get your work schedule sorted out and that kind of thing. But you've run quite a few races so far. Obviously, this being one of your best performances tonight, I think that would help you, throughout the rest of the weekend. But also, next week too is, I think, going to be a pretty good weekend for you. We're going road course racing next weekend too. So looking forward to the rest of the weekend, and then also next week. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm actually feeling really good, and also I'm a part of Rowdy Matt's tuned up esports league as well, and this Sunday at 8 o'clock we're actually racing Indy Roval in the Truck Series. So I'm going to get some good practice ready to get ready for next weekend for sure. I'm looking forward to all the racing, and I think looking at my work schedule, I think I'm going to be able to make all 3 races next week. So I'm really excited for that.
Well, we definitely look forward to seeing you. I know you love your road course racing, and of course that's probably been your largest strong suit as a driver. I would say. I think you can probably agree with that. And that's no swatch against your other racing, but I think that's definitely your strongest and most consistent forte, if you will, kind of your wheelhouse. So I look forward to seeing you there, and I think you already kind of threw a few out there, but any final thank yous, any of that sort for you tonight?
Again, thank you, Word, for creating this league and everybody involved. And glad to be in a little bit of a different environment, much nicer and everything and stuff, and hopefully that this could be a path to get to Pro League with the practice that I'm getting. I'd be glad to make it.
Indeed, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your time tonight. Congrats on a podium, third place finish, and good luck throughout the rest of this weekend as well as next weekend.
Yep. Thank you very much. Have a great night.
Yes, sir. And now I will pick up our second place driver, Gavin, Drew LMAO. I call him Drew Lamoo just because it irritates him, but that's the point. Drew, you got a copy, sir?
I got you, Kevin.
All right, man. Kind of came down here, kind of, I wouldn't say spoiled the party, but you did spoil, maybe for a few people. Come down here from Cup, you put on a really good performance. I honestly, I've only seen you short track race, at least here, a couple of times. But I know you're really strong. You're really strong everywhere. But coming home, second place here tonight, had a really good race overall. I guess first of all, walk me through your race. Of course, we had the caution-filled first two stages, and then stage 3 kind of settled down, and we went green all the way. How was your race?
First stage went pretty well. We stuck with track bar just for a little bit after the few cautions. Casey got around me and got a decent third place finish. I wasn't gonna compete with them. I had a pretty good shot at third place, as I had a feeling. Second stage, I got like just hit everywhere about. Came back and got into fourth place, I believe. It was a crazy stage 2, and then stage 3 was just trying to stay as close as you could to these track bar, but it's very difficult. So the second place was very, very solid. I'm happy I was able to get it.
Indeed, I would say so, and obviously, my first question actually before I get to that is, and I think I know the answer to this because it's a pretty tall order about what I'm about to ask. But do you feel like depending on how certain things went, if you could have had anything happen differently, do you feel like you had anything for track bar, or was it just kind of track bar was gone?
Oh, no way. Track bar was on another level. Like I said earlier, I was hoping to stay at least third. With Casey getting wrecked and hit, that promoted me to second at best, in my opinion. So I'm just happy I got second place.
Indeed, and I'll ask too. I don't know if are you racing Xfinity tomorrow night?
Oh yeah, I'm doing triple duty.
All right, so obviously you get in some truck racing tonight at Iowa. Xfinity is here tomorrow night, and then Cup, similar looking racetrack, similar shape. But a little bit different. Of course, Cup Series headed to Richmond under the lights on Sunday night. But second place run here, that's got to give you some confidence moving definitely tomorrow and maybe for Sunday too. What do you think?
Oh yeah, we're not starting the best because I didn't have a really good Q trim car. Starting 15th, I believe. So we'll be coming through the pack. But I have a very, very solid race car, so we'll see what can happen.
Indeed, and then my final question for you, it's my usual question before we throw to Gavin, see if he has anything for you. Any thank you, shout outs, that sort of thing for you tonight for your second place finish?
Shout out to you guys for putting this on, and the mods for setting up this whole league, and shout out to T-Glass because he set me this setup an hour before the race. So.
All right, sir. Well, I will do as you tell me all the time, jokingly, I think. I will shut up now, and Gavin, do you have any questions for Drew?
Yeah, I think my only question for Drew, and I know he's asked a bunch of questions, kind of putting him on the spotlight right now, the interrogation corner, you might say.
Yes,
but Drew, anything that you can take away from tonight, like what were your takeaways that you might apply to tomorrow in the Xfinity cars?
Definitely saving tire. Running. I took away that the high line works for the first few laps when you have like new tires, but you want to get down as soon as you can because the faster lane is bottom, without a doubt.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. We saw that throughout the race. Drew, congrats on second. I'm going to take it over now to definitely one of the best drivers I think NASCAR Heat has ever seen and might ever see. Track bar, you got a copy, good sir.
Yeah, man, I'm here. What's up?
Man, you put on a show tonight. You led almost every lap. You swept the whole race. Is there any way you could have made the car even faster? I mean, you were already scary fast out there, but anything you could have done to maybe increase your lead and maybe lap even more cars?
I actually went back on my gear change because I had to change my gear for a fuel save race. This I was told before the race, so my gear dropped down just a few clicks or whatever, and I felt like it'd have been a little bit more beneficial in the long run having that, maybe like an extra quarter of a tenth. But that's about it. I mean, like the car was handling great. Like it was tight to start to run off, and was driving perfect at the end of the run. You have to start off tight at these short tracks, or else you're going to burn the right rear off and spin after 10 laps. So. But besides that, I mean, it was a good piece. I mean, it was pretty much my Pro League car I ran from the Xfinity Series a few months ago, and I just converted over to truck and just tightened it up a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, you were screaming fast. I think me and Kevin said you were kind of like a rocket ship blasting off into space, but there were some times where you were basically by yourself, probably a little lonely out there. But Track Bar, one more thing I have before I turn it over to Kevin. I'd like to ask, are we going to see you again some other time here, maybe in the trucks or Xfinity or maybe even Cup? I mean, is this going to be a one-off, or are we going to see you maybe again sometime here in RHRL?
Sundays probably not. I got a commitment to another league that's starting up or whatever to go race with them guys. Got a few friends racing in it, so if I do run any of that, it'd be like during the off week or something. But trucks probably, yeah, there'll be a few more starts. But Xfinity, I usually am at the racetrack every Saturday night. We're not racing this weekend, but I got plans tomorrow. But I'll whenever I got an off week or something like that, I'm not doing anything. Yeah, I'll tune in. But definitely, I'll be in a few more truck races. I'll probably get about 2 or 3 more, maybe.
Well, we would be glad to have you here. Kevin, you got anything for the fastest man on the planet, I guess we could say?
I definitely do, because I mean, let's just go back to stage one. Track Bar, you came in here. You didn't put up a qualifying lap this week. It was kind of a later decision for you to race, probably 2 or 3 hours before sign-ups closed for the night. Didn't put up a qualifying lap. Started tail end of the field, and before the end of stage one, you were in fifth. That thing was rolling. We had some cautions in there too, so it wasn't even like the whole stage went green. I mean, that's just a testament to how fast your truck was. And then by the end of the race, you had lapped, I think, up inside the top 5. So, I mean, I guess first of all, how was working your way through the field in that first stage?
I mean, it was pretty good. I actually started out in my fuel gear, and I was a little bit tighter. I put a little more wedge into it, so it was a little tight. So I was just trying to get used to that. But I mean, it was still pretty easy. Like for the most part, at the back of the field, when I got about 15th or so, is when I had to really like get on my grind to get past these people. But we had them cautions come out, so I just literally took the adjustments back out and threw up my race gear and ended up, like I said, in the lead right before the end of the stage. So it worked out pretty good. Everybody was pretty considerate and gave room and was very respectful on the track, and I appreciate that. I don't think I had any incidents of like running anybody or anything like that. It was like I said, it was pretty interesting with a few guys staying out under the cautions and trying to get track position and having to go 3, 4 wide and stuff to get right by them. I mean, that was a lot of fun doing that. But like I said, everybody was being very respectful. At least I was dealing with. They were very respectful tonight with giving room and not pinching and running them in the wall or anything like that. So I got to thank them guys for being like that.
Indeed, I would say too, and like we've been saying, definitely one of the fastest guys in the game. So not surprised at all. You drove from the back. I think I called that shot. You'd be up there. You end up sweeping all 3 stages and come home with a dub. You are now a 3rd truck winner out of 3 races, so that streak continues. Any shout outs for you tonight in your first RHRL start on for your win? Anything about that?
Yeah, I want to thank Asylum's Casey Master for letting me race. Like I said, it was a last minute decision. I messaged him. I was like, "Hey, you guys racing tonight?" And he let me in, let me race for these guys tonight. I had a good time for my first race in the Red Hot Racing League. I got a good little league going on here for everybody. I want to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. You guys do a phenomenal job. Gavin's pretty darn good. I will say that. Like, however, I've already heard you announce before, but I've never heard Gavin do it. And Gavin, you definitely got a voice for it. I want to thank JTG Doherty Racing, my eNASCAR Heat Pro League team, for their continued support. I want to thank Extreme Sim Racing. That's pretty much it.
All right, sir. Well, thank you for your time. Congratulations on going 1-1, 1 race, 1 win. I don't think any of us are surprised by that. Iowa being one of your strong suits. So, congratulations on that. And like Gavin said, hopefully we see you racing here a little bit more often.
Thank you guys. I'll be sure to.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, and congrats one more time to Track Bar on his dominant performance there, Kevin. This isn't the only race we got this week. We got two more races upcoming this weekend. Tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern, right back here on this channel. We get to watch some Xfinity action. It's going to be pretty hot, red hot, you might say. And then Sunday, we got those Cup cars at Richmond. Richmond, a really fun track to race, not just to race, but also it's a really fun track to watch. I'm sure you can give us some pointers on that one, Kevin.
Yeah,
but
you'll hear that
you
from
got
me
to go
on
there.
Sunday.
I know it's one of your favorite places to go, and it's honestly one of my favorite places to race. Whether it's on heat, iRacing, it doesn't matter. But that race for the Cup Series will be also at 10 p.m. Eastern, and it'll be on Sunday. So mark in your calendars here for Saturday and Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern to come catch some red-hot racing action from our Xfinity and Cup Series. Kevin, if you will, is there anything else you would like to add?
I just want to add that stream Sunday night, of course, that'll be on twitch.tv/AirJustCause4. He's done a great job so far carrying the Cup race first two. I will return. I'll be back up there for both of those as well. I'll be here tomorrow, of course, with Gavin, as per usual, except for last weekend because, we're go racing. It was so nice to be at the track again last weekend. I've missed it so much. But, no, overall, I really enjoyed the race we saw tonight. We had some cautions there in the first two stages. Like I said, it cleaned up stage 3, had a really good stage. And that really excites me for what we're going to see tomorrow because from what I've noticed, at least in this game, the Xfinity cars seem to be a little bit more racy here at Iowa. They seem to be a little bit better if you get up on the high side in that middle. They seem to run a little bit better, and it's a little bit easier to race side by side. We saw it with the trucks tonight. I think you'll see more of it tomorrow night in the Xfinity cars. And then, of course, Richmond. It's a very interesting track in this game, but it's one of the most unique. And of course, you'll hear me blab about that on Sunday, considering I just came from the track about a week ago. So I won't get into too much of that because I'll probably annoy you guys on Sunday. But either way, really excited for what we got coming up the rest of the weekend. I can't wait. I think it's going to be fun, and I love these short tracks just like you, Gavin. It's just I've constantly lobbying for NASCAR in itself to add more short tracks to the schedule. I love these places. This is where a driver's true talent shines, in my opinion. The throttle control, the braking, and that type of stuff. And you saw that tonight. So very excited for the rest of the weekend. And I also want to, again, thank our viewers for their support coming out here and watching. It really does mean a lot. I can't express that enough. It's awesome to see that. Thank you guys, and special shout out too again to Fry for giving some bits, as well as Rock NASCAR, who again does so much for this community. We can give him all the credit in the world and all the love in the world for that, and he still won't get enough credit. The dude does so much. So, Rock, again, thank you. You are, as I say to you all the time, you're the GOAT.
Absolutely, I can totally get behind that right there, but you guys won't want to miss tomorrow. It's going to be action-packed, and same thing with Sunday. I mean, some of the best in custom setup racing. So tune in tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern, like I said. Catch some of this epic Xfinity action. And until then, for Kevin Harvick fan and Glixen, that's his Red Hot Racing, and we will see you guys Saturday, tomorrow, whatever you want to call it. We will see you then back at Iowa for some more short track racing.